I've tried very hard this whole year. I really have. I tried DC. I really did. I gave you slack for Suicide Squad because I actually thought Suicide Squad was a good movie. Okay, I gave you the benefit of the doubt for Killing Joke, and how DC Warner Brothers, how do you fuck up DC animated movies? Better yet, how do you fuck up the Killing Joke? How? What up, guys? Reckless Fox, and man, I don't even know where to begin. So, you know what? We're gonna begin anyway. This is gonna be a massive spoiler review, okay? So, if you have not read Batman the Killing Joke, nor have you watched the movie, my suggestion: go ahead and read the comic book. Screw this movie. This movie's bad. I'm off the bat. I'm gonna tell you right now. This movie's bad. You don't want to waste your money on this. You might want to find a buddy to rent this from, like to borrow it from, or rent it off Amazon or something like that. Just okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, why don't I start from the beginning, shall we? Batman the Killing Joke was written by Alan Moore and illustrated by Brian Bolin back in 1988. The story involves, well, the Joker, and it's somewhat of an origin story. The Joker originally was a comedian who had a pregnant wife, but was not making enough money, so he decided to join up with two local mobsters to rob an old facility that the Joker used to work at in. And he was disguised as the Red Hood, the original Red Hood. Unfortunately, the plan did not go well, and Batman showed up, and the Joker accidentally trips over his cape and falls into a vat of acid. He survives, however, in the process, it completely altered his skin tone and everything like that, which gave us the iconic green hair, pale face Joker, and which was basically the start of the Bronze Age slash modern age version of the Joker, leaving behind the Golden Age and Silver Age. The Golden Age Joker being the criminal underworld type figure who just wants to, take over the criminal underworld. And there's the Silver Screen Joker, where he's more the prankster and whatnot. I just realized I said Silver Screen. I meant Silver Age. My fault. And while that's going on, he breaks out of Arkham Asylum while all this whole origin backstory is going on. Batman is looking for him, and in turn, he shows up at Barbara Gordon's apartment, shoots her, and paralyzes her from the waist down, and kidnaps Jim Gordon. And while that's going on, after he's kidnapped, he initially rapes her. It takes pictures of her while she's naked and his whole goal is to drive Gordon mad. Like, he's taking his insanity into the next dimension. And he shows Gordon all the pictures of Barbara during a carnival ride from an amusement park that he had bought and whatnot. And Batman finds him, and they have an altercation. Batman being told by Jim Gordon to bring Joker in by the books, and in the end of the story, it's Joker and Batman laughing. And it leaves it off on an open ending on whether or not did Batman kill the Joker or take him in. We don't know. Until later on, when they actually made the Killing Joke canon to the Batman story, because later on, Batgirl becomes the Oracle and whatnot. And this comic book, was highly praised yet very much criticized. It was one of the most controversial comic books of its time because it left Barbara Gordon in the refrigerator, i.e., or as many people like to call it, Women in the refrigerator. Women in the refrigerator is basically when you kill off a certain character, a female character, in the hopes of it progressing the plot line, or using them as a plot device or trope and whatnot. It's very common in superhero comics, whether it's Marvel or DC. They're both guilty of doing the whole women in the refrigerator technique. One great example is Kyle Rayner's Green Lantern, when he comes home and sees his girlfriend stuffed in his refrigerator. Or Sarah Essen, Jim Gordon's side chick from Batman Year One. Later on in the whole Batman the whole Batman mythos, Joker kills her and shoots her in front of a bunch of babies in the Gotham City precinct and whatnot. Or in Marvel's case, when they killed off Elektra in the Daredevil comic book. It's very much like it's frowned upon from time to time. But other than that, it was still a great comic book, Killing Joke ending. So much so that they actually did a redesign of the comic book back in 2008, completely making brand new illustrations and whatnot. And it looks great. Both the 80s version and the 2008 version of the comic book is really good. There's nothing changes. It's just the design and the overall illustrations are the only things that change. Have not read Killing Joke yet. I highly recommend it. Killing Joke is very, very good. Now, mind you, it is a trigger-heavy comic, so please be aware of that. Okay. And now we get to the Killing Joke film, which was announced back in the spring of this year. And it was going to be the very first Warner Brothers animated movie that was going to be rated R. And they got Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to come back as both Batman and Joker. These, in case you guys don't know, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were the original Batman and Joker in the Batman animated series in the 90s. So it was a treat for any Batman fan, especially if you like the Killing Joke comic book. And they announced that it was going to have more Batgirl / Barbara Gordon in the movie, which was going to be great because, like I said, Batgirl is a very beloved character, and it sucked what happened to her. Even though she became the Oracle later on, she left the refrigerator still room temperature. It was bad. It was bad for her and whatnot. But so we were gonna have a treat that we were gonna, finally see some more Batgirl. And yeah, let's get to the positives, shall we? So animation-wise, this is a very well polished movie. The animation is spot on. Like, overall, just great. Like, if you liked Son of Batman and Batman Bad Blood and Batman vs. Robin and Justice League vs. Teen Titans, the more recent movies that Warner Brothers Animated has done, you will like this. You will like the animation in this movie. Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy are spectacular as their characters. Conroy playing Batman and Hamill playing Joker is amazing, and Mark Hamill's performance as the Joker is one of his best performances as the Joker. Personally for me, I still think that his role as Joker in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker is still one of my favorites personally, because I love Batman Beyond. But other than that, it is great. It was spot on, everything like that. And that's pretty much it. Because you don't get to the Killing Joke aspect until the second half of the movie. And this is where we get into the negatives. So let's start off from low negatives to the big WTF high negatives of the movie. Its R rating, honestly, there really was no reason to make this movie R rated. Like, the only reason why they made it R rated was to add more blood, cursing, and whatnot and everything else. Honestly, they could have gotten away with a PG-13 rating. It's just that after Joker shoots Batgirl, that's where they should have blood and whatnot, and they probably would have censored the ride that Jim Gordon takes. Honestly, you could have gotten away with a PG-13 to like post like rated R rating, because there really is no justification on why it should have been rated R at this point. I mean, I'm glad that the second half of the movie sticks to its source material, but at the same time, both halves, I mean, there really was no point. You were just trying to like, oh yeah, this is our rated R DC animated movie, let's do it and whatnot. There really was no point, honestly. And then we get to the worst and the worst and the worst. This is only the small part, okay? Now, Batgirl. Let's talk about Batgirl for a minute, okay? The first 40 minutes of the movie, the first half of the movie is nothing but Batgirl. And me saying this, I would have been like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. It's not at all. Like, Batgirl is, and I really hate to say this, Batgirl's needy as all get down. She is your typical damsel. Not so much in distress, but she's a straight up damsel because she's very persistent. She disobeys Batman and whatnot. She's basically playing Robin. She's playing Tim Drake and Jason Todd Robin when they're at their most arrogant and most cocky. And if you don't know much about Batgirl has always been the level-headed, the cool-headed member of the Bat family. Whenever Dick and Bruce were at odds with each other, she was always the one to separate them. Like, look, this is bigger than the both of us, and we have to stick together and whatnot. And it's a shame because of the fact that it's very annoying on what they did to Batgirl, because she is, oh god, I gotta pull myself together. Woosah. 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 Motherfucker. She does things that Batgirl wouldn't do. She goes out on her own when Batman tells her you probably shouldn't, and she should probably listen because of the fact that Batman has dealt with psychopaths before, and she still doesn't listen. She gets roofied in the movie. Like, in the first half of the movie, she does get roofied when Batman and her are fighting, your typical generic mobster and typical generic dumbass nephew and whatnot. She starts to get agitated by this one dude. Like, she's letting this dude get in her head, and it almost ends with her being raped in the first half of the movie, and it leaves her being saved by Batman, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That's number one. Number two, she gets into a fight with Batman, and she wins. Mind you, Barbara Gordon is not that skilled compared to Batman. I mean, that's a nitpick, but she isn't, and whatnot. She would have never won against Bruce. And then, not to mention, and this is the worst part of the movie, I'm gonna back up and to get to that part. See, earlier in the movie, you find, because Barbara Gordon works at the library at Gotham, and her typical generic 90s we can't write gay characters for shit friend is like, hey, do you have a boyfriend and whatnot? And she's like, I'm kind of seeing someone. And as a viewer, you would think, oh, she's probably talking about Dick, because we have not seen Dick Grayson. And considering the fact that her and Dick have such chemistry together, whether they're together like romantically or as like just friends, like best friends, like, okay, cool, we probably would see her. But no, they initially hint on her having like a crush on Batman, or more like, I want to smash him type thing. And it happens. Like, The fight between her and Bruce ends with her on top of Bruce while dressed as Batman, and they bang on the building. And it's like, what the hell? Like, this is not Batgirl at all. Like, first of all, Batgirl and Batman would never, and I mean never, have sex. And if you honestly think that they would ever do that, then you're probably confusing her with Batwoman, aka Cassidy Kane, or whatever Batwoman there was, because there was at least 3 after Mystery of the Batwoman. Well, in Mystery of the Batwoman, but that's a different story. But Bruce sees Barbara Gordon as like a goddaughter, considering the fact that, well, she's probably one of the few in the Bat family whose parents are still alive. But he sees her as a daughter. Everyone that Bruce has trained, whether it's Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, or Damian Wayne, who is his son, mind you, he sees them as family. And he would never do anything like some Lannister shit. And he does. Like, she gets on top of him, makes out with him, and instead of pushing her off him, they do it. You don't see him do it, but you know they do it. And then, to make matters even worse, he doesn't call her for like a few days. And you're now making her a sick love puppy. So now you're not even putting her in the fridge no more. You're putting her in your freaking freezer. Where you keep your meat at and whatnot. It's overall like, they completely destroy Batgirl's character in this movie by making her do not so Batgirl things. And it makes it even worse for the second half when she does get shot. Because even when she becomes the Oracle at the end of the movie, the damage has been done. You've made her somewhat of a useless character. Somewhat of a character who can't do anything for herself unless Batman is with her. And it's a shame because Batgirl, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman, and Black Canary are like your main DC female characters, your strong female characters. And Batgirl has always been a strong female character within the Batman universe, considering the fact that there are plenty of female characters, whether they're heroes or villains, in the whole Batman universe. You're now making one of the leading female characters in that universe look weak. You made her look weak. You've made her just pointless. And overall, you not only offend female readers who love Batgirl, you offend readers in general who love Batgirl doing this to her character. And it's a damn shame because you could have easily used Cassidy Kane as Bruce's love interest. Or better yet, you could have brought in Dick Grayson, Nightwing, or Robin, or wherever universe you want to put it in. Because another thing is that in the movie, like, they kind of have like a mashup between like modern day technology and like late 80s, early 90s technology. Because in the first half of the movie, you see iPhones, you see laptops, you see hacking and stuff, but you don't see that later on in the movie, unless it's like in the Batcave and stuff. It's overall, the movie's a mess, people. The movie is a giant mess, and it's a shame because of the fact that Warner Brothers animated films have never been bad from the very beginning. Whether like from Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Sub-Zero, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, Batman Gotham Knight, Batman Year One, Batman Assault on Arkham, Justice League War, Justice League Throne of Atlantis, Flashpoint Paradox, Batman vs. Robin, Son of Batman. I can keep going on and on and on. And the fact that DC at this point has effed up throughout this entire year, even with Suicide Squad. And I like Suicide Squad. I mean, the review right here, I admit that I like the Suicide Squad movie. But I was expecting for this movie to save DC's ass because of the kind of a disappointing year that they have had with their cinematic movie, the cinematic universe movies. And The Killing Joke feels like a DC cinematic universe movie with the writing that they had for the first half of the movie, which ruins the second half of the movie, mind you, which follows the Killing Joke comic book. The first half ruins it. It ruins it for newcomers who are curious about the Killing Joke comic book and what happens to Barbara Gordon, and it ruins it for people who enjoyed the Killing Joke comic book, even with its controversy and all. And this movie's bad. Okay, all in all, don't waste your time watching this movie, people. If you are, rent it on Amazon, or if you know a guy or cousin, or friend who has the movie on DVD, borrow it or whatnot, or rent it on YouTube. Just stick away from this movie, honestly. And I don't want to hear not one person again tell me how bad Batman vs Superman Suicide Squad is, okay? Because if you have not seen Killing Joke, you haven't seen bad yet. You have not seen a bad DC movie recently until you watch The Killing Joke. I would rather go watch Batman vs Superman again before I watch Batman The Killing Joke again. That's how bad it is, people. That's how bad it is. It's... oh, God. The movie is terrible, people. Batgirl, in this movie alone, is worse than Felicity from Arrow. And I don't mind Felicity. I don't hate her. She was bad at the second half of season 3 of Arrow. She was bad in the first half of season 4 of Arrow, but she redeemed herself. I feel as if that Batgirl is worse than her, and that's saying a lot right there. I'm not gonna say, like, if you enjoyed the movie, fine, but me, I feel offended as a comic book reader, and I feel offended as a Batgirl fan, because this isn't Batgirl. Batgirl will never do this. I'm just saying. But if you guys like it, let me know why you enjoyed the movie. Do you feel as if it lived up to its hype when it was first announced? Or do you feel as if it was just a poorly written animated movie and it fell flat on its face because of the first half of the movie? Let me know in the comment section below. All constructive criticism is always welcome. I appreciate it. It helps my channel grow and whatnot. And yeah, guys, that's it. This movie drained me mentally. Like, honestly, I didn't think about. I didn't want to do this review, but I had to. I had to. It really irked me watching this movie. Shout outs to all the people who watched my Firefly discussion video. I actually hit over 150 views, and I very much appreciate it. It's my first triple digit video, guys, and to those of you all who watched it, I very much appreciate that, and I thank you. I really do. Thank you guys for watching it. Like the video, share, subscribe, show it to your friends and everything like that. And yeah, I need a break. So this is Reckless Fox, and I really hope Wonder Woman saves the DC Cinematic Universe, because at this point, they got nothing to lose. Wonder Woman looks like it's going to be dope. And since Jeff Johns is in charge, well, I have high hopes for Wonder Woman. So, Gal Gadot, I know I made fun of you in the past for looking like a freaking flatboard, but you made gains, girl. All kinds of gains. So, here's to you, and here's to Wonder Woman. Cheers.
Not sharing Batman with you!
What? Ew.
Ah!